Hey guys, today we are going to be distributing polynomials. We're going to be on pages 15 and 16 in our notes, and after that we are going to practice on page 17. Okay, so page 15 and 16 should say distributing polynomials. Okay, all right, so polynomials can be expressed or can be simplified by distributing a monomial term across a polynomial. So we're going to use a model just to kind of represent what this would look like. So first, we're just going to make sure we understand what this model looks like. So we have two x's right here. So we have 2x, okay, and that's being multiplied by 1x right here, and then 4 1s. So that's being multiplied by an x and 4 1s. Okay, now we're going to sketch a solution using some algebra tiles. So if we're just going to start off right here. If we have x times x, that would create a square. Okay, we'll do that right here as well. If we have an x times another x, that also makes a square. Okay, now we have x times 1, so that would create an x, another x, another x, and another x. Okay. Then we're going to do x times 1 again. Okay. So we have created our solution, and now we're going to record that. So we have two squares. So we have 2x squared. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 x's. Okay, so this is the simplified version of our algebra tiles. And the last question is, how could we simplify this expression using the distributive property? Well, I'm going to rewrite the problem. If we distribute two x's times another x would create, x times x would create a square. And then 2x times 4, 2 times 4 is 8, and we would have an 8x right there. Okay. So again, this is a nice visual, but hopefully we will get more comfortable with just distributing. Okay, distributing a monomial across a polynomial can be distributed also using area models. Use an area model to simplify the given expression in A and B. So area models, hopefully you guys did when you guys learned basic multiplication. So like, you don't have to write this down, but when you had something like 32 times 8, you could break 32 into 30 and 2 and multiply that by 8. 30 times 8 is 240. 8 times 2 is 16. And then you could add by making that 256. Okay, we're going to basically do the same thing, but now we're going to have some variables. So we have 6x right here, and that is being multiplied by this term, negative 3x, excuse me, and another term, negative 4. So area model is nice too, because we could just multiply this 6x times negative 3x. We can multiply regular numbers. And then x times x would be x squared. Okay. Then we can also multiply right here, 6 times negative 4. And then we have an x right there. So we cannot put those together because we have a square right here and just regular x's. So simplified, this is negative 18x squared minus 24x. All right. Now for this one, it's wanting us to actually create this area model. So we have negative 7, okay? And that is being multiplied by 1, 2, 3 parts. So that's negative t squared, 8t, and negative 2. Okay. Negative 7, negative t squared, that would create a positive 7t squared. Negative 7 times 8t, negative 56t. Negative 7, negative 2 would create negative 14. All of these are different terms, so simplified, this is just 7t squared minus 56t minus 14. All right. Each of the models above help you kind of visualize the distributive property, which states a parentheses b plus c is the same thing as multiplying a times b and then a times c. Or if it was a subtraction problem, it'd be A times B minus A times C. Okay, I'm not going to make you guys explain the distributive property because I feel like you understand it. Okay, so that is just kind of a visual to see if we multiply variables together, it makes them larger, like squares, and to see that they're also not like terms. So we're going to now just distribute using the distributive property. Okay, negative 5b times 15b, we're going to multiply regular numbers together. Negative 5 times 15 is negative 75. And then b times b would create a square, b squared. Okay? Now I'm going to multiply negative 5b times negative 9. Negative 5, negative 9 makes it positive 45. And then b just gets put on at the end. Okay. Number 2, we have a distributing problem, and then we also add something at the end. So first we're going to multiply 4 times 12h squared, 48h squared. 4 times 7h, which would be 28h. And then 4 times negative 1. Now I'm going to drop the 3h squared. Broke it! Sorry, guys. Okay. So now I'm going to combine like terms. It looks like these squares can be put together and make 51h squared plus 28h. Broke it! Stop! Okay. All right, on the next page, which is page 16, Mrs. Pfeiffer asked her students to write an expression that would be equivalent to negative 24d squared minus 16d. Circle the names of any students who correctly completed the task. So this could be multiple people, so I want you guys to go ahead and try this and then select which people were correct. Okay, for Brock, we would multiply. Okay. So it's close, but it needs to be a negative, so definitely not Brock. All right, for Esther, we would multiply. Esther does look like that creates the correct problem. For Rodrigo, okay, I distributed. Now I'm going to combine those together. So it looks like Rodrigo is also correct. And then for the other problem, for Wanda, it also looks like it matches. So the Wanda, Rodrigo, and Esther are all correct. Broken? Broken! Stop it, okay? Stop. We'll go outside. Yep, so come on, go outside. Go. All right. Kara simplified 4k plus 1/2 parentheses 10k minus 4 as shown below. Describe her mistake and correct it. Again, how I like to do these problems is just to do it myself and then see where a mistake would have happened. So I see 4k plus 1/2. So I distribute first, because we always have to multiply first. Half of 10k is 5k. Half of negative 4 is negative 2. So if I look at her work, it looks like this was a mistake. For some reason, she added those together. Those aren't like terms. First, you have to distribute. So that is something that I noticed was weird. And then come up with the correct answer would be 9k minus 2. Right. For this problem, 5g minus 3/4 parentheses 24g minus 40 plus 2g plus g squared. Okay. So first, we're going to distribute. 3/4 of 24 would be 18. And then 3/4 of 40 would be 30. Okay, then I'm going to combine like terms. 1g squared with 5 more would be 6g squared. And then those are not like terms, so I'm just going to rewrite the rest of the problem. minus 18g plus 30. The height of Martin's rectangular door is 8 inches more than 3 times the width. If W represents the width of the door, write an expression to represent the area of the door. Okay, so the height of Martin's rectangular door is, so here's the height, is 8 more than 3 times the width. Okay? And then the width represents W. Okay, then it wants us to write an expression to represent the area as well. Area of a rectangle is just length times width. So I'm going to do width times the length we wrote. Okay, now I'm going to simplify that by distributing and get 8w plus 3w squared. Okay, number 7, write an expression to represent the area of a trapezoid. This is a friendly reminder. A trapezoid is adding the bases together, multiplying by half, and then multiplying by the height as well. Okay, so I'm going to first just rewrite what we have. So we have 1/2 times the height times the base, the first base, plus the second base. Okay, now we just have to basically just simplify it. I am going to combine these like terms together. So that would create 4h's and -6. Okay. Now I'm going to distribute half an h to 4h's. So half of 4 is 2. And then h times h is h squared. And then half of 6 is -3. Then I also have to multiply that h. So that would be the area of the trapezoid, 2h squared minus 3h. All right, the final one is science textbooks weigh 2.5 pounds. Mrs. Frizzle has 10 less than twice the number of textbooks Mr. Nucleus has. Ms. Frizzle writes an expression to represent the combined weight of their books, where n represents the number of books. Simplify the expression. So we're just going to simplify. You guys are going to go ahead and do that. So it'd be 5n minus 25 plus 2.5n. Combine like terms and get 7.5n minus 25. So hopefully you guys feel pretty confident with this stuff. It's nothing really new except for sometimes creating exponents as well. So your assignment is on page 17 and it looks like this. See you tomorrow.